Hey, Contractor Education Network. Causey here, and I'm going to wait a few minutes to get Carl on here. I'm at my shop in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania today. It is 19 degrees out right now and still snow on the ground. A little bit. Well, it's mainly ice right now. So, Kyle, thanks for joining in. You're the first one, bud. David, wow, I'm honored. Ben, Gary Berg, how you guys doing? Can you hear me okay? Dan from Maine. Wow, I'm honored you guys could be here today. Once again, Causey from the Contractor Education Network. Chuck, thanks for joining in again. Hey guys. Thanks, Ben. I can sure use that today. It's been a tough day. Good. I'm glad the sound is good. Thank you. Loud and clear, says Dan. All good. Listen, this is my first time interview with this Facebook technology, so bear with me, okay? Carl, how you doing? I'm glad you could be here. We're going to bring you on in just a moment, and we'll get this interview going because I know some of you are in your work day, and some of you guys are, oops, no viewers to invite yet. Here, I am adding Carl. Add Carl. Yes. We're going to add Carl here. Chuck says it's been a rough day. Yes, it has been. It has. We want spring to be here. Robert McEwen from EP Henry. How you doing, bud? Glad you could be here. I was just making the caveat of this is my first interview on a live stream situation, so bear with us. There, Matt Potter from the UK. Glad to have you here, bud. Josh, good to have you guys here. Listen, we're going to be interviewing a YouTube sensation. He'll deny that, but I've seen his YouTube videos, and some of you probably have too, and some questions for him about that. Carl, welcome.
What is up?
Hey, thank you for being here from sunny, rainy California.
I'm going to tell you right now, just shoot me. It's so bad.
Hey, we got to deal over here. We have to deal with this every 3 days here on the East Coast.
All right, well, you know what? Where are you, in Pennsylvania or something?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 19 degrees outside right now, and we're still covered with an inch of ice. So, we're dealing with it. We want spring really bad.
Here's the thing. California, like I said earlier, we get to deal with the highest cost of living, with the lowest standard of living. The least we can get is blue skies. I was in Spokane, Washington. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to you a couple of days ago. I understand that you just celebrated your 30th.
Yeah, 30 times 2.
Right. Okay, fine, you win. I was in Spokane, Washington, and this California native, dude, it was -7 degrees when I left on Sunday morning. No, thank you. Not interested in that at all.
Yeah, I hear you. We are so tired of the mud and the rain delays. It's hurt the contractors, it's hurt the manufacturers. So we're really looking forward to a positive spring, and we need it bad right now. We really do.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how well you can see my calendar here, but this is what we've had to deal with so far just this year. And, we're in the same boat as all the other contractors out there in having to fight our way through it. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But what I found myself doing in times like this is this gives me a great opportunity to work on my business instead of working in my business.
Same here. That's why I'm doing this today. That's what we do. It's a great time to work on the business instead of in the business. And I hope that some of you guys out there will be doing the same thing. Working on our businesses is so critically important because we're coming up to a wild, busy time, and it should be an interesting spring. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
Carl, you have Columbia Water Gardens.
Yeah.
And
so I
go ahead,
am. No. Go ahead. So we started this business 11 years ago, and 11 years ago we didn't know anything at all about contracting. Didn't know anything at all about having your own small business, and I never lifted. I don't want to say it that way, but I wasn't one of you guys. I had a white collar job. I was doing very well in a previous industry that I was in for so many years, but then that industry collapsed because of 2008. And
let me guess. It was either aerospace or mortgage housing connected.
Yeah, super close. I was actually in the car business. I was in the car business for 20 years. I was a finance director, and I ran Southern California's largest GMC dealership. We were selling about 425 cars a month, 425 to 450 cars a month. Our net income, and then I processed about $15 million a month worth of car loans and ran a department of 7 guys, doing the paperwork, and had about another 8 or 9 girls upstairs. And I was making close to $30,000 a month. And I lived at that lifestyle. I had a beautiful home, $1 million home with an unobstructed view. And as the economy crashed, I went from making that kind of money down to $7,000 a month. And I was in my backyard, hanging out by my koi pond, looking at things, and just, honestly, I was just praying to God. I'm a Christian, and I was praying to God that that He would bail me out of this situation and show me something else I could do. Because at that point, I was going to lose my home. I was going to lose everything. Everything I worked so hard for all those years, I was going to lose it all. And so that's where Columbia Water Gardens came from. I started off as just a online company, drop shipping pond supplies, and I opened up a small little retail store. 2 years later, we outgrew that, went into a much larger retail store. And then just this last July, we outgrew that retail store by closing it altogether.
So you don't do retail anymore?
No, I just do it online. And the reason why is because the economy has changed. In Southern California, I don't know what it's like in Pennsylvania or in other areas of the country, but in Southern California, it's extremely hard to give people the consumer buying experience without going broke doing it. Because you're fighting against Amazon, and you're fighting against a lot of these competitive online companies. Plus, at the same time, in order for my construction division to do well, I've got to get out there and work with the guys once in a while. And it's so hard to find good quality people. As a matter of fact, today alone, I've had 2 conversations with 2 very prominent people in the water gardening industry, and both of them the same question: how to find good quality people?
Yeah. Yeah, it's impossible right now. People are not available right now. Here in Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New York area, employees are not available at any price almost. So that's one of my questions for you. How do you find your employees? And more importantly, how do you retain them?
That's a really good question. You have to, But let's go to retain, because finding people is actually not that complicated, really. I understood we are right now at an unprecedented low in unemployment. Did you know that the economic indicators right now are at over 40%? I'm sorry, we're at a 40 plus year low in unemployment. Okay.
Mhm.
So that means that not just my generation, but my parents' generation, they have not seen unemployment this low. So that spans a great deal. So finding quality people, that's very it's hard. But what you really have to do is it's about developing quality people. And what we try to do as a company is we try to be a business that is fun to work for, rewarding, and that when people come to work, they really enjoy doing what they do. And so my best tip with that, honestly, is just to kind of keep it brief, is to you've got to affirm your employees. You really got to affirm them. You have to affirm them a lot. Find out what it is that speaks to their heart, and you got to
Yeah.
speak into their heart. And I'm not talking about blowing smoke. I'm talking about just being genuinely caring and notice it. If you provide an employment opportunity for people, they will stay. They'll stay. And like, you can't pay people enough that are miserable with their job. If you really can't. And all you're doing is throwing good money after bad. But you can get people to buy into the company culture and provide a culture that's positive and contagious. And by doing that, that's going to attract your people to stay. My maintenance manager, he's been with me for, I think, close to 4 years. We touch about 300 homes per month in our pond maintenance division. A month, yeah, 300 homes. We make about 300 visits a month in our maintenance division. And then we build between 50 and 60 water features per year with our construction division. And with our online, I get to handle the majority of it here in my home office. So our overhead is very, very low. We don't have the need to go and buy an expensive office building. We've learned that that's unnecessary. I've had no problem closing business with people never having stepped foot in my retail store before. So why keep all that together? Why have all that overhead when you can run an effective business from home?
What a dream. What a dream. Without that overhead of a retail shop.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
brutal. Yeah. So
you don't have any problem attracting employees, but you use some common sense goals in retaining them by making it enjoyable for them and rewarding them. And one of the things you just said was really interesting. You can't pay a miserable person enough. And I have found that misery spreads. It's contagious.
right.
So it's important to get to let those miserable people work for someone else and be able to move on. Yeah, that's really critical. Carl, can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel? I find that fascinating. I mean,
Okay.
you produce those videos. They are so good and entertaining. And, you've got a ton of subscribers. I'm one of them. I hope that some of you guys will consider it. But you've got a ton of subscribers. Do you get a lot of business out of that? And how do you produce these YouTube videos?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that. Yesterday, here's a contract that I just signed yesterday for a customer to rebuild a small pond in their backyard. It's over 50% margin. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you how big the margin is, but it's well over a 50% margin. And this customer has seen virtually every one of my YouTube videos. And we sold it for $14,300. Couple of days worth of work, But the point is that when you first approach YouTube, you want to approach YouTube by being genuine and being authentic. Authenticity is what sells. Okay.
Yep.
You want to be honest.
Why did this happen? Why did this happen? No, we're not going to finish. Hey, Matt, while I'm working out these technical difficulties, yeah, it's the same way over here in the States. Retail shops are dying, whether, it's blame it on Walmart, perhaps eBay, I'm not sure, but, everybody buys online. Yeah, it's the same way here, no different, bud. So I want to get Carl back on here, and maybe he can send me a notification. But YouTube is a great channel. You saw where he just signed a contract yesterday for a project that the people saw on YouTube and they wanted to buy from him and they felt comfortable doing that. California might be a little bit different market than Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, or the UK, but people are the same everywhere. There's no different with people. So Carl, I hope that you can rejoin us here, and I am working on that. Oh, you just did. Okay, so you're going to send me a link, and okay. Carl, I'm not seeing anything come up on the screen. So here. I'm scrolling. There we go. Add. Okay. You're coming back up. Add. There we go. Mark, thanks for joining in. Carl will be rejoining us. He was talking about his YouTube channel and how he. There you go, Carl. I don't know what happened. Sorry about that, bud.
I have no idea. Hey, all business is solving problems, right?
It is. And problems are many times opportunities too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We were talking about YouTube, and guys,
right.
If you've not seen Carl, I like your coffee cup.
They're never big enough, right?
There you go. Yeah, I know. I can tell you all about that. Your YouTube videos are fantastic. The production value is off the charts. Are you editing those yourself?
I am.
You've got it. Oh my gosh, that's great.
I am. So here's the thing. Where we got cut off before is that with YouTube, you want to be authentic and you want to be real. You want to be true to yourself, and that's what sells. That's what you're trying to do. Is you're trying to put your best face forward when you're talking about YouTube. So you're going to see on my channel, and if you're not a subscriber to my channel, just go ahead and search for Columbia Water Gardens. There's I'll put a link in this thing at the end of the video, but go ahead and just subscribe to Columbia Water Gardens, and you'll see. One of the things I really like to do is I like to do raw, unedited video content. So if I'm out there in the field and I'm building a waterfall or I'm doing something that's technical, I'll be like, hey guys, hold on a second. I grab my cell phone. I use a Galaxy Note 9 because it records in 4K and it has a lot of really good computer power on the inside of it. And, virtually all of my videos on YouTube, believe it or not, are shot and filmed with the Galaxy Note 9. And so I don't use an expensive production quality camera, although I did recently purchase a wireless microphone. And I'm wearing a wireless mic right now as we're interviewing. And that wireless mic delivers really excellent sound quality. This is the one that I use right here. And it's, I think about $150 or so, $150, $160 over at Best Buy. This is a 2-channel microphone. And it works really well. One of the most important things that people are looking for in a YouTube video, in addition to authenticity, and in addition to that, is they want good quality audio. That audio is everything. So in terms of my channel, I really don't have a lot of subscribers. I've only got, like, as it sits today, I think like maybe just under 1,200 subscribers. But I've grown it to 1,200 in the last 6 months because I've
Mm-hmm.
taken an interest in my channel that I've never taken an interest before. And what I'm finding is that as a contractor, my channel, it makes me a local authority in my market area for what I do for a living. And so what do I make off my channel? I've made tens of thousands of dollars off my channel, not from YouTube, but from the jobs that YouTube has sold me. Okay.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
that's a really big pushback is that a lot of these guys they think that they're going to need to go out and buy the expensive camera.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a really cool gimbal. I got the DJI Osmo, and this is cheap because I'm cheap, right? I'm a business owner just like you. I'm a contractor just like you. And the cool thing about this is that I can put my cell phone right inside here and turn on the gimbal, and it will allow me to do slow-mo or time-lapse photography. It'll steady my images and stuff, and it has a really cool video editor built into it.
Nice.
$100. It's like about $150 or whatever it is. It's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an investment. Sure.
Sure.
So with your YouTube channel, you're using tags in there to market to your local clients, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that point up. Okay.
Tags.
So, all right. Now you're speaking my love language because I am a computer nerd. Okay. This guy over here behind me, right? And a couple things I've learned is about YouTube is this. Google is the #1 search engine on the planet. Okay. #2 is YouTube. And YouTube is owned by Google. And so YouTube thinks the way that Google thinks, okay, in terms of search engine optimization. And there are
Mm-hmm.
3 key things in getting found, actually 4 really. So the 4th is a bonus, but there are 3 main things in being found that that Google wants. #1, they want a short title. They want to get to the point fast. What is this thing about? What is this video about, right? And you want to then in the content so you start with the title. In the content, this is where you tell everyone what the video is about. So in this content, that's where you're going to say this video is about this, and we are located in this market area here. And that's where you start to put in all of your hashtags and things that are relevant, right? And so when I hashtag a video, what I'll do is I'll do a Google search and I'll say, what are the most popular hashtags? And I'll insert those most popular hashtags into the description so that people through Twitter and et cetera will be able to find me. So that and Instagram is huge. And so then what'll happen is that when people search those hashtags, then my video comes up and people watch the video. It's pretty simple.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Making it local, within your service area is important. I've found too. Yeah. Yeah.
So those are your 3 things, right? But here's the hidden 4th, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why audio quality is so important. And I'm going to give you a tip that most people don't even know. So if you're watching the video right now, pay really close attention to this, okay? It is critical that you have good quality audio, not just because of the person that's listening, but because Google is listening as well. What Google is doing is they are they're recognizing speech recognition in your words that you're speaking in the video, and they are taking those words that you're speaking in the video and looking for the relevancy of those words in your description and in your title to be able to say, hey, whatever it is that the person is looking for, this is really relevant, and they point you directly to the video. So what you're not looking for in YouTube is your social media referrals to the video. What you're really looking for is you're looking for those organic search results. And if you can check your analytics and see your organic search results, that's.
Don't do this again. Very interesting.
Yeah.
A question for you though. I understood that, and maybe I'm wrong, that Google only wants about 6 hashtags in the description.
That's correct. Otherwise, more than that is
Okay.
what's called spamming,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
lose your relevancy.
You get down ranked for that.
That's right.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like me, I talk too much. People probably will tune out of this video because I'm talking too much.
It's
And
okay.
Google will behave the exact same way. If you're motoring off, if you're running off at the mouth, then Google will say, and they'll move on. Just like a
Okay.
few of your viewers might have already done.
That happens. It happens. They have families. They have things to do. So how long do you keep your videos roughly? What do you aim for?
That's a good question. So it depends on what you want to shoot. So if you want to shoot something that is informative, your audience retention is usually about 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's not
Okay?
long.
Not long. 2.5 to 3 minutes. You got to get in, make your point, and get out and be fast with it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a hook that is going to be able to keep that fish on the line, okay, then you need to then you need to leverage that hook for as much as you possibly can. 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, okay? Now, Paul Cafaro, okay, he's a kid out of Florida. When I met him in January of last year, he had about 60,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. He's 17 years old, okay? And he came out, he's been on my sofa in my house, and we took him on a pond tour and we shot some really great video. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on the very first playlist. So if you go to Columbia Water Gardens and check out our YouTube channel, it's the very first playlist underneath that welcome video that's shown there, okay? And we showed off a bunch of work that we do. He came around and he had a great time. And that was shot February 9th, 2018. And as it sits today, this 17-year-old kid just paid cash for a house in Florida with over 1 million subscribers.
Wow. Wow. What's his, go ahead.
Okay, and you know what it is that he does? A couple things. One, he looks like a little miniature, like a young Justin Bieber. He's cute. He's a good-looking kid, And I say kid because I'm 49 and I'm allowed to call 20-year-olds kids because I have kids that are 10 years older than that, okay? But one of the things that he's done really well is that he shoots a video every single day. And he uploads that video every single day at the exact same time. So what he'll do is, he'll upload the video, but he'll set a time for it to be announced to the world on YouTube. So he literally actually has a channel that every day at a certain time, I think his time is like 5 o'clock, his video is shown, right? So a project that we built back in November of 2017 was for a big YouTuber by the name of Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul, some of your viewers may know who he is if they have teenage kids. The guy's an idiot, right? But he's a genius because I think he's one of the top earners on YouTube. And his whole shtick is just really crazy jump cuts and insanity and all that. And that works for him, but it's not going to work for me because I'm not in that age group. It's not who I am. It's not authentic. So if I go around prancing around the place acting like an idiot, that's not genuine. That's not who I am. And the viewers, they see through that. But with his 14 or 15 million viewers or whatever it is that he has, he really blew it because he's the guy that filmed in Japan the suicide forest that got booted off of YouTube and all this stuff. So he got demonetized for showing that stuff. And so he took his too far. But again, what he's doing is he's being authentic and he's being true to himself. And I'm friends with a lot of other YouTubers that have literally hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And what I'm trying to do with my channel is I'm trying to develop it and grow that subscriber list so that I can help other people. And I'm not really in it necessarily for myself, although I do get to benefit from it. But I found that by helping other people do things right, that rising tide lifts all ships, and it's better for my industry that I'm in as a water feature construction specialist.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why we have this contractor education network, is to help other people out. And it's not to benefit us. So yeah, good work on that. Good work. Well, I like your YouTube channel a lot. I watch it. I get notifications when you have another video coming out, and I like it. I think it's tremendous. And it
Yeah, I've got a
probably
really
does.
great video I'm putting out tomorrow. We're building a wetland filter for a client, and the wetland filter is 25 feet long. Excuse me, it's 16 feet long, 16 feet wide by 25 feet long, and it's going to be filtering a lake that is 100 feet long by 75 feet wide by 16 feet deep. And then that's going to be the filter for the lake that's going to feed into a waterfall that's got 4,000-pound boulders going over the top of that, and it's also going to have a little spring coming on the other side of the road that's going to kind of shoot down, make it look like it's feeding that spring that's coming out and gushing out of the hillside and doing this thing. It's probably one of the most epic water features that we've ever had a chance to work on our own. Now, we collaborate with a lot of other contractors, but this is going to be a fun one for us. And that video is going to be on YouTube tomorrow evening after we break ground. And what I'm going to be doing with that video is going to be authentic. Every single problem that we come across when we get there, we're going to film our problems, not necessarily our successes. So we are going to show you guys everything that goes wrong, literally everything. And so we're really hoping to be able to help a lot of other people get into water feature construction, or those that are in it, to be able to be educated by the mistakes that we make as we go along through this thing. And believe me, we will make mistakes.
I tell my guys, something goes wrong on every single job. Everything. Not everything goes, but something goes wrong. And it's not what happens, but it's how we react to it. So I'm glad you're going to be showing that. So, and I like the phrase perfectly imperfect. And you've got to be authentic. You're spot on with that. So good job with that. Hey, Carl, I'm sure that you got to go, and some of these people are going to their families, and it's family time now, or lunchtime. It's probably lunchtime for you right now in California.
Yeah, I've got a lunch date with my wife, and as soon as we're done over here, then I'm going to go ahead and take this video, and I'm going to share it and flip it around into my social media and try to see if maybe we can get more people to join over there. So Contractor Education Network. What's funny is, if I can just kind of give you a plug, because I'll be sharing this video along through a lot of my different channels that I subscribe to, is this. I found that by subscribing to as many different contractor channels as we possibly can, we're able to expose our own businesses to other people that are like-minded, that do similar or other things that are really close. And here's what I want to get away from. And here's, if I can just kind of drive a really great nail into this conversation and finish it with that, is this. Today's contractor is no longer the uneducated blue-collar guy. No. Hear me out on this for just a second, okay? Hear me out on this. The millennial generation, and I'm not picking on them, and I don't want to make a political statement right now, but the millennial generation has been helicopter parented to the point of ineptitude. And these kids, although they're smart, they don't know how to do things, okay? And what's going to happen is they're going to go out into the world and they're going to make a ton of money. They're going to do well. Eventually they will. Those that actually choose to go out in the world and actually decide to go to work and do something valuable, okay? And you're smiling because you see that I'm trying to be politically correct here, okay? But here's what's going to happen is they're going to have an illusion of wealth. And right now I'm speaking to you contractors right now that are watching this video, okay? These kids are going to have an illusion of wealth, and they're going to come to you to fix their broken stuff, okay? Because mommy and daddy are tired of fixing their broken stuff, and now they have a way and they have financial means to be able to do it. So what's going to happen is as fast as they have money coming into their hands, it's going to be slipping right through their fingers, okay? And that illusion of wealth is going to transfer right into your pockets. So there's a couple things that you need to be doing as a contractor right now. And whatever it is that you're doing, I don't care how long you've been doing it. I'm successful in Southern California, a competitive market doing a niche business, okay? Here's what you got to do first. First and foremost, you got to start charging for your consultations. Do not go to anybody's house ever without charging for your time, okay? That's going to pre-qualify people, and you're going to stop from wasting your time and having... Basically, it's going to allow you to bring your prices in line with your competition because you're not having to have the people that are your customers pay for the time that you wasted from the people that were never going to be your customers to begin with. So charge a consultation fee for every single customer that you visit, regardless of where they are. So that's tip number one, okay? Number two, hold your margin, okay? Hold your margin. Knowing your numbers and holding your margin is what's going to make you win. Now, you're not in this business so that you can retire on Social Security. You're in this business so that you can have a nice, healthy retirement, that you can put money away, and that you don't have to worry about when it's raining outside to the financial impact of your family or the business that you're running, okay? So by knowing your margins, charging what you're worth, and getting all the money, and refusing the jobs that are junk, refuse them, okay? Protecting your brand, you're going to be able to do fun things. In September, we took a trip to the Virgin Islands. Last February, we were in the Virgin Islands. My wife and I, we travel all over the place. Next weekend, I'm going to be in Chicago on the Chicago River for St. Patrick's Day, celebrating the little tiny bit of Irish that's inside every one of us, right? And so, and at the same time, I get to go visit my son who's in the Navy and, visit him, who, by the way, he's #1 in his class. He just called me yesterday. And he's just excelling right now. And he just got to dry fire a torpedo tube yesterday, 1,600 PSI, it's just all this cool stuff. And you would not be able to afford to do these things if you don't pre-qualify, go out and do the jobs that you're supposed to do, say no to the jobs that are not profitable, and make sure you get those change orders signed as you go along. We do not comp anybody when we go out into the field. The bottom line is this: if you're a contractor and if you're starving, the reason why you're starving is because you're doing business the way that you thought business has to be done. Okay, but this is the way things are. This is changing all around the country right now, and we're allowed to change it because that millennial generation doesn't know any better. Be professional out there, make all the money, be smarter than everybody else, and stop treating yourself like you're a dumb contractor that's uneducated, that doesn't know how to run a business. You need to change your trash, your mind trash that you've got up here, and change that. And then finally, your crew, if you want to keep your crew, taking your conversation full circle, take your crew and make them into the very best people that they possibly can be based on their goals in life. I have one guy that works for me that wants to be a contractor. So guess what I'm training him how to do? Training him how to be a contractor. I've opened up my books to him and I sit down with him and I show him how to run the business. I got another one that wants to be he wants to get into physical therapy, right? And he's a bodybuilder. He just did his personal record deadlift of 500 pounds last week, right? Ooh. And he wants to open up his own gym and he wants to do these things. So guess what I'm doing? I'm also teaching him how to run a business. Do you think these guys are going to get that from working at McDonald's? Absolutely not.
No, they won't.
So pour into the people that are around you. Make that circle as small and as tight as you possibly can so that you can be effective with them. And go out there and make a ton, and I mean a ton, of money doing exactly what it is that you do and have fun doing it. And then when you're out there in the YouTube world, be genuine, be authentic, have a lot of fun. And if you want to reach out to me personally, and if you want to make friends with me, hit me up through Facebook, send me over a friend request. That's how you found me. If whoever's watching this video, if you want to join me at some contractor events, I'd be glad to spend some time with you there too. I have all the time in the world and none of the time in the world to get things done because I choose my time wisely and I invest in people that truly want to get better. And like I say, and I learn things from people like you. I learn things from people like you and some of these other great people that are in some of these groups. And I'm so thrilled that you took the time to notice me, to invite me to come on, and to share a few of the things that have made me somewhat okay and successful in the world. Because maybe it just might bless and help somebody else that's out there.
There you go. Words of wisdom, people. Take some of these golden nuggets back and deploy them. And I'm telling you, it's words of wisdom. This guy's been there and done that and made the mistakes and is doing a lot of things right now. And you, men and women, can also. So get out there and make it happen. Carl, thank you so much for your time here today. It's been an honor and a blessing to have you on board here. I really appreciate your time and guidance and wisdom here. So, guys, consider subscribing to his YouTube channel. He's got it. He knows what to do and is truly authentic. So, Carl, thank you once again for being here. We'll get this wrapped up. If you guys have questions or if you're watching on the replay, just hit them up in the comments section. I'd love to answer them. If I can be of any help, we're here to serve. So, Carl, thank you once again.
Okay, thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, guys.